Evasive maneuvers, now! There are over 12,000 ships. Get all fleets on the subspace channels.
Commander Marcus Kane straightened his black Coalition uniform as he entered the briefing room at Starbase Sentinel-7. The morning light filtered through the transparent aluminum windows, casting shadows across the holographic tactical display. Around the obsidian conference table sat the crew he'd served with for 3 years. Captain Vexler, a Carillion with crimson-scaled skin, Lieutenant Zelasha, a blue-skinned Scytheran, Dr. Krell, a towering Vorgoth with multiple eye stalks, and Ensign Thorne, another human who'd joined the fleet just 6 months ago. "Morning briefing, people," Marcus announced, activating the display. "Coalition reports 3 unconfirmed pirate attacks in the outer regions. Command wants us to—" "Before we start," Vexler interrupted, his fanged mouth curling into what might have been a smile, "I have to ask you something that's been bothering my entire crew for weeks now." Marcus paused. He knew what was coming. He'd been waiting for this moment since enlisting. "Go ahead." "We were going through your service records," Zelasha said, leaning forward with curiosity gleaming in her luminous eyes. "And we found something strange. Your file lists you as combat veteran with extensive field experience, but you never give details. So I'm asking." She glanced around the table, and even Krell's eye stalks seemed to focus with interest. "How many kills do you have?" "Was heavy, suffocating." Then laughter erupted around the table. Vexler slapped his clawed hand against the table. Zelasha's crystalline laugh echoed through the room. Even Dr. Krell made a sound like wind whistling through a canyon. "What?" Thorne asked, confused. "Is this a human thing?" "They're joking with you, Ensign," Marcus said quietly. "Humans don't talk about kill counts. It's considered dishonorable." "That's what makes it funny," Zelasha said, wiping away what appeared to be tears of laughter. "Marcus acting like it's some sacred taboo. No one cares about that with us. Numbers are numbers." Marcus set his hands flat on the table. He'd buried this for so long, lived among species that saw combat as mathematics, pure data. But these were his crew. They'd fought beside him. They'd bleed together. And they were laughing because they thought he was ashamed of something trivial. "Actually," Marcus said, his voice cutting through the laughter like a blade, "I have a very specific number." The room quieted immediately. "Before I joined the Coalition, I served in the Human Defense Forces for 43 years. I was a field commander during the Terrax Incursion." He paused, watching their expressions shift from amusement to curiosity. "Terrax sent over 400,000 ground units against our colony on Kepler 442b. Vexlar's scales began to pale. "I led a defense force of 800 humans. We had 37 days to defend the settlement until reinforcements arrived." Marcus's eyes were distant now, seeing through the room to another world, another time. "The Terrax expected us to break. They expected us to run. We didn't." He pulled up the battle data on the holographic display. Complex patterns of troop movements, plasma fire arcs, casualty reports. All in crisp, precise detail. "My personal kill count during the Terrax Incursion was 847 direct combat kills and an estimated 12,000 plus through tactical support during the siege." Silence. Complete, absolute silence. "You killed 12,000 beings." Krell's voice was barely a whisper. 12,000 Terrax combat units trying to slaughter the 40,000 civilians we were protecting," Marcus corrected. "I would have killed more if I could have. That was my job. That's what a soldier does." He leaned back in his chair, meeting Zelasha's eyes. The curiosity had been replaced by something else. Understanding, perhaps, or fear. "The reason I don't talk about it," Marcus continued, "isn't because I'm ashamed. I'm not. I did what was necessary. But where I come from, humans understand something that takes most species centuries to learn. The difference between killing and being a killer. Between warfare and being a warrior. The Terrax never learned that difference. When you're willing to throw 500,000 beings at a problem, you lose the ability to value individual lives." He stood and walked to the window, looking out at the vast darkness of space beyond. Humans value life precisely because we understand how easy it is to take it away. We've seen what happens when we don't. We've been to the brink. We know the cost. Thorn, the young ensign, spoke softly. So why did you join us? The Coalition. Marcus turned back to face his crew. Because the Terrax are only one threat. And because I realized that humans alone can't protect humanity forever. We needed to understand other species. And they needed to understand us. Not as invaders. Not as machines designed to kill. But as something rare. A species that has learned to choose mercy even when we hold the power of genocide in our hands. He returned to the table and deactivated the holographic display. Now, Marcus said, his voice returning to its normal commanding tone, can we discuss these pirate attacks? Because that's a problem we can actually solve today. But as they resumed the briefing, Marcus noticed how differently his crew looked at him. Vexthar's expression was unreadable, but his scales remained pale. Zelasha didn't laugh again. Dr. Krell's eye stalks occasionally turned back toward Marcus, as if trying to reconcile the quiet human commander with the warrior they'd just learned about. It wasn't fear in their eyes. It was respect, the kind earned through honest reckoning with difficult truths. As the briefing concluded and his officers filed out, Vexthar lingered. The Carillion extended his clawed hand, a gesture he'd learned from humans. Thank you for answering honestly, Vexthar said. I think we all needed to understand what we're standing beside. Marcus clasped his hand firmly. You understand now why we don't joke about such things. I understand now why humanity matters, Vexthar replied. And in that moment, in the quiet of Starbase Sentinel-7, two beings from different worlds recognized something ancient and fundamental in each other. The weight of responsibility that comes with the power to destroy, and the grace that comes from choosing not to.